hope that you guys understand that it is not for us right now. It never will be. And never will be. Now, when you said we need to do this collectively, well, Oregon cannot afford to, cannot save the world. Russia, China, India, I mean, it's my understanding that our emissions have gone down. I saw this figure the other day. I could be off a bit. Our emissions, carbon emissions, are 70% less than what they used to be because cars are more.
What's the question?
No facts. No facts.
No facts.
They don't like those.
DEQ was eliminated in Washington for the very reason. I'm part of the other half of your constituency that happens to appreciate what President Trump has done in the last 3 years. I don't. Now I'll get to my question for those who are. You were on television and you were asked a question as to how you were going to vote on the impeachment. You said that you were not going to make a vote or not say what you were going to do until you saw the transcript. Now, it's my understanding that transcript is a carbon copy of what the hearings were all about. I saw all of the hearings. I saw almost 98% of it. I saw all the witnesses.
Hey, shut up, rude people. Let him talk.
Okay, let's get a question so we can move on.
Well, let me finish. I could have had it out by now. The thing is, there wasn't one witness there that had any evidence throughout the entire many hours. There's still no evidence. Why did
then
you
let
vote?
them call the witnesses.
Why?
Call the witnesses.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want to know why he voted for it?
Give me a hand, Mark.
Call all the witnesses.
Why did you vote to
Demand Trump calls all the witnesses. No respect.
So,
Just let the congressman speak to this now. Thank you.
it's a difficult decision. For some, it seems very obvious on both sides. I am shocked sometimes when you read information that reasonably intelligent people come away with different impressions. I based my decision on actually reading the transcript. There was a lot of other stuff that was discussed and went on. We could argue over legal, illegal, right, ethically or not. But if you actually read the transcript itself, and it's available for everybody, and I'd urge you all to read it, and you may come away with a different impression, I get that. But when I read it, it's crystal clear to me that the President of Ukraine is asking for some anti-tank missiles, and the President's first words out of his mouth are, "I need a favor, though." That's wrong. And then he speaks in that very same paragraph, and this isn't me, this is the President has agreed to, this is an accurate depiction of his conversation. He put the transcript out there, and he said this is accurate. And in that same paragraph, his next comment is about the DNC server issue in the last election, and then he talks about investigating Biden. That's wrong. I can tell you, I am not allowed to ask a foreign government for any assistance or any information in my election. That's illegal. You're also not allowed to campaign or have any political conversation from your office. That's illegal. And the hearings went on forever. I applaud you sticking through the whole thing. I have to admit, can't say that I listened to 98%, but a lot. And what struck me is that Trump appointees and career diplomats who have no dog in this fight other than maybe to support the president said they were concerned that this was not correct behavior. So based on that, I figured to vote to impeach. It never seemed to be the wrong thing to do for a president.
speak. 691422. Did anybody get that? Have that ticket? How about 254797? 254797 right there on right now. And then on deck, last question will be 254785. 785. Anybody have 785? Okay, we'll see how well we get through this question. Okay. No.
Go ahead.
797, is that the one you called for next?
So.
It was, yeah, we had 691422.
No.
422.
Then we had another one before that.
Yeah, so we have, go ahead.
254797. ¿Está bien?
Go ahead.
Buenas noches, me llamo Yanira y vivo en Salem. Mi pregunta es para usted. La mayoría de la fentanyl que viene a Oregon viene de México y se viene con la gente ilegal. ¿Cómo va a parar usted eso? Would you like me to interpret?
Yes, please.
The majority of the fentanyl coming into Oregon comes from Mexico. It is coming from illegals. As a first-generation American from legal immigrant parents, it's a disgrace and it's embarrassing to us that you choose to side with illegals. Any of you that have people under family members, children, aunts, uncles on drugs, it's Mexico's responsibility. They're bringing the drugs in, and you, as a sanctuary state, are allowing that here. It's a shame, and you lie to people to tell them that, oh, it's not. These are law-abiding people. No, they're not. Sit in a courthouse, Polk County, Marion County, Multnomah, Washington, and watch case after case after case. Illegals, please be respectful. It's my question. I'm stating my facts before, so because he doesn't know. That's the problem, is he doesn't know. You sit in all those courthouses, and immediately the majority of them are illegal aliens, which is still a federal proper term. And they are brought here, and they are arrested and released out. Time after time, we have 40 drug cartel illegals that were just arrested. They've disappeared. Why do you lump us all in and say all immigrants are the same? They're not. Illegal is wrong. Legal is the only immigrants that we want in this state.
And that is what we're trying to get to. I agree. There are bad immigrants who are committing crimes, terrible crimes in our country. There's a lot of Americans in this country that commit terrible, terrible crimes. Neither should be tolerated. But I do feel, since many of us came to this country, that there should be an opportunity for folks to get into this country. The bill I talked about for the ag workers recognizes that we have not done our due diligence. So what we're trying to do is make sure that these people become legal, productive citizens in the country. And I think that's kind of our job. Our obligation as Americans is to create the opportunity for others, just like we've had.
All right. Thank you. All right. Excuse us, please. We have one more question, sir. I think it was 6. Ma'am, the first 3 digits, 691, then it's 422. No, not 43. It wasn't 43. 254797. Where was she?
That was her.
Okay, then 254785, I think it was.
No, you need a new number.
Was it over here? All right, last time. Which one? 691471. Yes, our last question. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's all just be respectful. We're very passionate. We have some very, strong feelings, but let's try to end this in a civil manner.
He should show up more often.
Thank you.
Congressman Schrader, thank you for all your work in regards to the Fish and Wildlife in the state of Oregon. I'm a professional fishing guide, or was historically a full-time fishing guide. Continue to work on fish conservation measures. You have a long history of supporting salmon in the state of Oregon. You supported the Recovering America's Wildlife Act in Congress. We have a crisis here. I'm here with my daughter, Katri. She's caught some salmon in her time, but our kids are not getting outside enough. We don't have the salmon runs we have historically had. We have a unique opportunity with Congressman Mike Simpson in Idaho. He's bringing up the idea of breaching Snake River dams. As many scientists have indicated, it's one of the few opportunities we have to ensure that we have a future for Columbia River salmon in the basin. One of my fishing customers, Lee Ritchie here, he fishes with me. We represent one of the greatest transfers of wealth from urban to rural communities in the state of Oregon. We need to make sure that Columbia River salmon do not wink out on our watch. We're at 3% of historical abundance in this state. We're better than the other two western states. But to have the opportunity to just look at the possibilities of Snake River Dam breaching. We've won 5 court cases in the state of Oregon against the federal government. We have another biological opinion coming up here in the spring. The federal government is not working to save salmon, and we need your help to do it.
Well, thank you for your dedication to Oregon's iconic species. Without the salmon, I don't know what we do. I mean, this is part and parcel of being an Oregonian, is either watching the fish run or fishing the fish run, for goodness sakes. And it's been pretty horrific. A lot of factors. The dams are part of it, no question. Millions of dollars have been spent trying to make sure that fish can get around those dams. We can argue about how successful that's been or not. We did have a problem with sea lions, both at Bonneville and here at Willamette Falls, just having a salmon feast. They sit by the fish ladders and unfortunately gobble them up as they try and get upriver. Thanks to your department and others, we were able to craft a bill that actually passed in the last Congress to limit some of these rogue sea lions from getting so far up the river. They're not supposed to be in fresh water anyway, right? That's a saltwater species, but they're way up the rivers now. It's been a great success story for the Marine Mammals Act, but causing havoc with the salmon. We're also working, another big issue is frankly not just the Columbia River, but the Willamette River. Trying to figure out how do we restore the salmon runs in the Willamette River and still protect municipal water sources, still make sure that agriculture can flourish in the valley. Our office spent a lot of time the last, I'd say 2-3 years, convening groups of people to talk through how we might actually do that, rather than have to be in courts all the time. By the time we get a court case finished, the salmon will be gone. Now, we need to address this in a manner like we talk about Congress, where we bring everyone together, listen to each other, see if there's a way. I'm not convinced that it's either or. I think it can be all of the above as we all tighten our belts a little bit, conserve water, watch how we do farming, build storage if you're a municipality, and make sure the salmon can still flourish at the end of the day. We spent a lot of time on this. This Coastal Management Act will hopefully give us a lead on some of the acidification and stuff that's going on in the ocean. We can do what we can here inland, but we do stuff in the ocean. The ocean's another big, black, opaque box that unfortunately is causing a lot of problems with our salmon. So I think there's some opportunities here. I'll look at that, but I want to make sure there's other opportunities that we don't ignore we can get done right now. Thank you guys very much for coming. A very, very good hearing. Lots of information, and hopefully I've learned a little bit. I'll get back to you guys on some of the questions, all the answers for. Make sure my team gets your address or your information so I can get back to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Let's give the Congressman one more round of applause.